All right.
Hey, hey, hey. This is Mary B. I'm here with my friend Cary, who has just completed the Great Divide Trail. And if you don't know what that is, I think I might just have you talk about it, and
I'd
we can
love to.
start there.
Well, thanks for having me, Mary. It's great to see you as always. You're one of my favorite people in the world, just for the record. So thank you for being you. Yeah, so the I just completed the Tour Divide, which is a 2,716 mile mountain bike race across the Northern Hemisphere. The Tour Divide travels along a route that is largely the same as a route called the Great Divide mountain bike route, which was designed by the American Cycling Association about 20 years ago. And the Tour Divide is a race on that route essentially, and it traces most of the same route. It has some slight variations in a few key spots, but for the most part, it's the same. And so, thank you to the American Cycling Association for creating the route. In the first place, thank you to this guy named Matthew Lee, who is kind of the founder, the underground founder of the Tour Divide. And yeah, I'm just coming off a really intense and amazing life experience on Tour Divide. It was incredible. Yeah.
Carrie, I'm just going to let that sink in for folks because you are giving this one paragraph description of something that took how many days from wheels up to wheels down or wheels down to wheels down?
Wheels down to wheels down. I traveled the route for 27 days, 9 hours and 1 minute was my exact finish time. So yeah, I was out there for about a month on the Tour Divide. Yeah.
Let's play with the stats for just another moment. And this is a little repetitive, but again, it's big stuff. What was your mileage?
2,716 miles. I with roughly, according to my Garmin, 172,000 feet of climbing.
Mhm.
I averaged about just shy of 100 miles per day. I think the actual stats are 98.6 miles per day. The same temperature as the human body, right? I think it's 98.6, right?
That's right, average.
Um, and I don't know my average speed was, but there's a website called trackleaders.com where you could sort of watch the race and watch my dot go down. That said, I was roughly moving for, I think, 14 days and some hours of actual riding time, with like 12 days and change of not riding time, meaning sleeping or getting food at Safeway or a resupply or doing something else. So,
Riding more than anything else.
yeah, it's a long way. It turns out it's a long way from Banff, Canada, to the border of New Mexico and Mexico down there at Antelope Wells.
Mm.
There's a lot of cool stuff in between.
And the climbing slash elevation gain is equivalent to six ascents, descents of Mount Everest,
I think that's
Sagamarta,
right. I think that's about right, right? Everest is like 28,000 feet or something, 27,
29.
29. Okay. So yeah,
Just.
that's yeah, it's about six Everest. So basically what Tour Divide does is if you like think in three dimensions, think about mountains. You start here in Canada and you basically just go over the Continental Divide and down a pass, and then you go over the Continental Divide down another pass, and you just do this
Mm.
all the way down the Tour Divide, all the way down the spine of the Rockies, all the way through the North American continent, all the way to the border. So
Mm.
you're leapfrogging. I don't know how many times I should probably figure this out, but we probably crossed the Continental Divide 30 plus times along the way
Mm.
because you're just leapfrogging it all the way down, which is pretty cool.
Remarkable. Yeah, let's let that sink in. Have a sip of coffee.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, I've got three primary questions for you, and partly because I want to take little bites. Carrie and I have been friends for a million years now. We've had some pretty cool times
Yes, we have.
in various realms.
Yes, we have in various realms, indeed.
Grand Canyon, Goose,
Over the
life
just
itself.
jump out for sure.
So my first question is, what brought you to day one? What was your big why? And of course, whys are often composed of several small whys. So feel free to answer that with more than one why. But if one comes to you, let's hear it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. Thought about that a lot while I was out there, as you can imagine. Had plenty of time to think while I was out there, which was great. But it was a combination of a couple things, a couple whys that got me to Banff. And let me tell you, just getting to Banff is a lot for a tour divide. Just actually get there with your bike to the start line was a monumental, like I had a big exhale, like a big relief by the time I finally got there because it was so much just to get there. But to answer your question, the whys for me started like in the physical realm. I like to bike. I like to get on my bikes. I like to ride bikes. I've been riding bikes and mountain bikes for a long time. I've been racing mountain bikes in a ride called in a race called the Leadville 100,
Mm,
which is kind of a famous mountain bike race. That was sort of like the gold standard for me for like a decade. Was every year was like training for Leadville and how fast can I go at Leadville and Leadville, 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 Leadville. Like that was a thing for a long time for me. I'm a kind of person I like to have a goal sort of on the calendar to work towards
mm,
because that keeps me motivated and keeps me training and gives me a little carrot at the end of the stick to sort of go after. So for a long time for me it was Leadville. And I was aware of the Tour Divide from the movie. The movie is called Ride the Divide.
mm,
It's a movie that was made, I don't know, it's about 20 years old now. And it was made shortly after the American Cycling Association made the Great Divide mountain bike route. And this guy, Matthew Lee, went up there and he rode it with a couple of and kind of raced it with against a couple other people and then made a movie about it. And now that's like the cult classic movie. Find it on YouTube somewhere, it's out there. And Ride the Divide. And so I saw it a long time ago, so it was percolating in my mind. But then I was like, about a year ago when I was like thinking about, well, what's next? I'm kind of over Leadville. I need a new goal in terms of this like the physical biking aspect, like sort of the tactical. And I was like, well, I should, go big. So yeah, that seems like as hard as you can get and as big as you can. So I'll sign up for that. So the sign up is funny. To sign up for Tour Divide, it's free. There's no money. It's not like an official race. It's like really like an underground thing.
mm,
It's really interesting in that respect. It's a self-supported, totally, individual thing. You don't pay any money. I think you pay $50 to the guys at Track Leaders to put your dot on the map, basically on their website, which has a ton of power, which I can talk about too. So yeah, so that was like one reason why I needed a new bike challenge. The other, I guess, big reason for me is just seeking adventure. I mean, Mary, you know me pretty well by now. And I'm always seeking some adventure in my life and new things and new challenges. And it occurred to me and can confirm now I was right Uh, that the tour divide is true adventure. It's hard to find true adventure anymore in a world of cell phones and connectivity and internet everywhere and all the things, right? It's hard to actually like really get out there. Uh,
Mhm.
like a Grand Canyon trip, you can really get out there. There are other ways to really get out there, but it's fewer and harder to find these days, I feel. And especially for me personally, as a dad, three kids, big job, all the things. Um, yeah, so finding adventure was another big why for me. Really get out there and really have an adventure. And
Mhm.
I did. And it was amazing. It was so cool. But yeah, like Tour Divide, you're just out there, you're really out there. You're on your own. And yes, you have a Garmin InReach device, this little guy right here, which is sort of your lifeline, this little guy.
Mhm.
And that connects to the website. And I could text with my wife every night, which was cool. And you're connected to the outside world with that thing. But in other respects, you're really not. You're oftentimes very deep in the wilderness or in national forest, really. You're 78 miles down a dirt road in the middle of Montana or in the middle of Wyoming or wherever you are, right? You're super deep out there. And that provides its own sort of adventure component. There's some intimidation of that. There's some risk to that.
Yeah.
But there's also like that freedom that you get of like, wow, I'm really, truly on my own now and really out here. And yeah, you just don't get that, right? You just don't get that these days, or I don't get that these days. So that was another big why for me, was the adventure component of seeking real adventure. And then the third, I guess, reason was um, purpose, right? I always approach this with like, hey, I want to go do a big thing. I want to go have a big adventure. I want to go do a big physical test, but I also want to combine that with some purpose. So I did this ride, uh, and I raised money for the Honnold Foundation,
Mhm.
which is a foundation I'm near and dear to. I know Alex personally, and I'm on the board of the Honnold Foundation. And I've worked with these folks for a long time. It's a great organization. And so I wanted to put a spotlight on them and raise money for them
Mhm.
as part of my adventure.
Mhm.
And I did. So it was great. We were able to raise, I think we're going to end up just shy of $100,000.
Wow.
Donations are still open now. You can go to caryhayes.com and find a link on there and click donate now.
Mhm.
But we've gotten some amazing donations, like lots of small donations, lots of big donations, everything in between. The outreach has been really incredible, along with the social media thing we did and all this other stuff. So, um, yeah, so that was the sort of the third component of it. And that worked really well. We were able to, I told the story of Honnold and Honnold Foundation a lot along the trail to people. And yeah, wanted to give back as part of this, as part of the adventure. And that seemed to have worked pretty well.
Mhm. Beautiful. Just connecting dots a tiny bit. I'm sure most of the viewers realize, but this is Alex Honnold of free climbing, El Cap, free soloing, and movie making, and climbing skyscrapers.
But it turns out,
Overall.
it turns out Alex, long before he was famous, this is a great story about him, long before he was Alex Honnold, he was Alex Honnold. And he was a dirtbag climber living in the back of his car before he even had a fancy van. It was like a pickup Celica or something, right? And he actually started the foundation like early in the early days of Alex Honnold. And he did then, and he does now. He donates a third of his income to his foundation. And if you go back and look at like early Alex videos, there's a series called Sufferfest. I think
mm,
it's called Sufferfest 1 and Sufferfest 2. And it's I think it's him and Cedar Wright. And they're basically riding their bikes around the Southwest to climbing areas.
mm,
And they go ride to like Four Corners area,
mm,
and they climb some desert towers, and then they spend a couple days in the Navajo Nation and install solar panels.
mm,
And that was part of early Honnold Foundation stuff. And now, of course, Honnold Foundation since then has grown tremendously,
mm.
is now blowing up in real time. Um, I guess you would say they're going big time as a nonprofit now. But they're really making a great impact, right? Honnold Foundation essentially does community solar projects
Mm,
around the developing world,
mm,
in Central America, South America, native reservations in this country, and other things in this country, but really all over the world.
mm,
And they, um, yeah, they have like an enormous amount of grant uh, people coming at them writing grants, and then they're able to fund a lot of them now because they have big
mm,
money. They just fell into some big money as a foundation, which is a nice thing to have. So yeah, they're doing lots of good work and putting up a lot of solar panels in
mm,
a lot of interesting places and providing education and empowerment and other things to places that need it. So it's
mm.
good.
Such great work. I have a soft spot for them because you know this. A lot of my on my mom's side, my cousins are Puerto Rican living in a island on an island that Hurricane Maria went through. I think that was 2017, and the microgrid formations that the Honnold Foundation has made on the island of Puerto Rico have been a major game changer. And I've just got a lot of appreciation there for how that can really change a community, a mindset, and make a wave of goodness out there.
Yeah, that was actually the first project that we were involved with. It was called, I'm going to butcher the name because my Spanish is pretty poor, but it was the Ajuntas or Ajuntas project in Puerto Rico. That was actually the first project that REC, my company that I work for, and me were involved with. And I actually almost, there was like a big like ribbon cutting and sort of community celebration. We did a big solar project there on all the roofs in town,
Mm,
in this village that got wiped out by Maria. And a bunch of other people were there too with batteries and inverters, and there was a whole microgrid setup. And sadly, I couldn't go, but I've heard retroactively that it's been a big success. So that's good.
mm, mm. So let's move to middle question. Has to do with what was your take home? And like the why question, you might have 27,000 take homes over the course of your 27 days. But yeah, I'll just let you go for it.
Yeah, there's a lot of takeaways from the tour divide for me. I guess the number one that's top of mind uh, is how do I articulate this the best way? Basically, my faith in humanity was restored.
Mm,
I got away from all media for a month and the divisive nature of the internet and any type of political media and all that BS. Um, but like I just witnessed and experienced such an amazing amount of community and like incredible acts of kindness from strangers and just
mm,
so much beauty out there from people.
mm,
And like you don't normally get that in your normal life. And then if you're tuned into the internet all day, you just everything everyone's a jerk and the other side's the enemy and all that stuff. But like, wow, like, yeah, I mean, we were traveling through very small places, very small towns in Western North America and Canada. And just got to see humanity at its best, I guess I would say it that way. The people that are sort of along the course, um, they know it's a course now. It's kind of a thing by now. It's, about 20 years old. But there is such a love fest going on out there between locals. It's and riders who are on this route. It's amazing, right? I had countless experiences where people, just to give you a few examples, people set up if they have if like they have a ranch or a home, they'll set up like a table like in their driveway and have a cooler with full of Gatorade and Cokes and Dr. Peppers and waters and things and have a little sign say Tour Divide Riders, Great Divide Riders, help yourself, it's all free, right? There's a whole nother level of community out there. There's these trail angels. I call them trail angels. Trail angels are literally like it's like a ranch or a farm or a barn or a shack or anything. And it's where someone who owns that place is either there or they're not there. It almost doesn't matter. And they just open it up to you and they provide food and shelter and what like anything you need. And believe me, you need a lot when you're riding 100 miles a day and you're thirsty and tired and hungry and the next town's 128 miles from here. There's a thunderstorm coming and it's hot and look the things, right? Like showing up at one of these places is an amazing experience. I'll give you an example. There's a place called the Llama Ranch.
Mm,
Llama Ranch is a little bit north, maybe 50, 60 miles north of Helena, Montana.
mm,
And it's now a fairly well-known trail angel. I'm gonna forget her name, of course. It'll come to me in a minute. But a beautiful woman owns this property with her boyfriend. And she literally painted a bike on the top of her barn so people know when they approach. And so it's a well-known spot. So you come in, you're in the middle of nowhere in Montana, you come into this spot and you pull into her ranch and she's got these little cabins that you can stay at for free. She's got like a board of ham sandwiches on her front porch. You just eat like 8 of them immediately.
Eight.
Yeah, exactly. She's got a cooler with Cokes and waters and everything else. It's all free. And
Mm,
she's like, I don't ask for any money. You can stay here as long as you want. You can eat as much as you want, come into the house, do whatever you want. And she's like, I only ask that you pay it forward.
wow.
She's like, that's my ask.
Mm,
And just pay it forward for the next thing, etc. So yeah, like there's like a lot of that going on out there. That's one example, but there's probably 20 I could give you of like trail angel stops or just magical little interactions with humans that are just so cool. So that was a huge takeaway for me. I'll give you another one. There's another like one of my favorite places. There's a place called the Davila Ranch. This is in like central New Mexico, approaching the Gila Wilderness,
mm.
which is also was just like such a cool place. It's like unbelievable. I had no idea this even existed in my whole life. I could go on that for like a week, but yeah, it's also it's sort of on your computer map. You can kind of see it, and people had told us about it. A lot of this is like also word of mouth. Like you don't, that's not necessarily evident. Like when you're out there, you kind of need to know a little bit. So anyway, there's a teeny little sign on this, chunky dirt road in the middle of New Mexico. And it says Davila Ranch. And so we saw it. We got there at night. It's like 9 p.m. And we go in there and it's like it just opens up into this like cool like series of like barn shacks
Mm.
on this property. There's no one there. It's like 9 o'clock at night. We just enter this property. It's a little sketchy, right? Because you like don't know like exactly what's going on. And it's like there's like shack one, and inside shack one, there's like three propane stoves with propane tanks all hooked up, ready to go, a huge water pump, a sink, and then on this other shelf, there's a bunch of like canned food, like rice and beans and different things. was like, wow, that's cool. And then like Shack 2, there's two showers with hot water. And then Shack 3, there's a refrigerator full of Coke and water and beer and everything. And then Shack 4, there's like a washer and a dryer. Like, wait, what is going on here? And then there's like a little sign on the wall. It says like, this is a donation-based retreat for Tour Divide and Continental Divide and Great Divide riders and hikers and so on. Donate what you want. Leave it as you found it. Like,
Mm.
just amazing. Like, I gave him $100 because I thought it was like such a great, amazing thing. But like, amazing, right? So there's like places like that along the way. And there, like, we never even saw anyone there. We were on someone's property. We never saw, we never saw anyone.
Mm.
It's like this amazing resource. Like, so yeah, there's like dozens and dozens of places like that, but there's also like dozens and dozens of interactions. Um, I'll give you another one just because we're going. So we're in Idaho, and I think I mentioned this before, but we're in Idaho and we're coming up on the west side of the Grand Tetons, which is a really unique way to see the Tetons because most people see it from Jackson or from the east side. But you're coming on the west side, so it's this big view. It's this gorgeous afternoon. It's like late afternoon, 5, 6, 7 p.m. And we come up this long dirt road to this intersection, and there's these two guys in a white Jeep. And you can see them from a while.
Mm.
So it's probably 10, 15 minutes. We're riding up this road kind of slowly, just and we see this Jeep up there, and these get close, and these two guys get out. And these are two old guys in their 70s, right? They're wearing overalls, they're total farmers. They live right up the road in Idaho. And they pull out this big cool, hey guys, and he knows my name. He's like, hey Cary, how's it going? And I'm like, what? And so this translates into the power of that website. So when you enter Tour Divide, you put in your name, and then your Garmin GPS thing connects to this website.
Mm.
So you have a dot on the website, and there's this whole community. There's like apparently a whole world now, which I didn't realize, of people that watch this website while the race is going on, and they watch your dot, and so they can see you. And my this was cool for my wife could see me, my in-laws, my friends. You can see exactly where you are, and your Garmin shoots out a sort of a locator every. You can program it, but mine was like every 10 minutes. So people can know exactly where you are
Mm.
and what your name is, and like that's kind of it. It's like your name and where you are. So we show up at this random intersection in the middle of Idaho on the west side of the Tetons to guys I've never met. And hey, Carrie, how's it going, man? Come over. You need anything? Here's some water. Here's some Cokes, whatever. I'm like, you guys, this is so great. Thank you for being out here. I drank like 3 Cokes on the spot, like 2 waters, and like just pounded it down because you're so thirsty and hungry at all times. And I'm like, that is so nice of you guys. Oh, no problem. We come out here every year to look at you crazy people riding by. You guys are nuts, man. You're riding from Canada to Mexico. You're crazy. The nicest two old guys. I mean, they got such a kick out of it. We got such a kick out of it. I had a million more like that.
Mm.
But yeah, faith in humanity completely restored, I guess is the headline. Like so
Mm.
many great people out there outside of politics and dynamics and most of the world we all live in on a day-to-day basis. Like people are great. There are some wonderful humans in this country and in Canada for sure.
Mm.
Just wonderful people along the way and lots of acts of kindness. Um, I'll give you one more on this topic, which I thought was noteworthy. Um, it's along the same theme, I guess. So I was at a Safeway in Salida, Colorado, and you meet all kinds of people, not just like the trail angels and places where you stop or people will give you things, but you also have interesting interactions with different people. So I was at Safeway And the typical program at Safeway is you're just trying to resupply fast, right? You're trying to get in and out,
Mhm.
making decisions in a big grocery store after you've been biking for 90 miles on the day, like, and you're on day whatever we were, 18 by that point. Walking into a grocery store is like sensory overload, right? It's like way too much. You're like, oh my God, I got to make all these decisions. What am I going to buy? What am I going to eat? It's a little overwhelming. So you like want to get in and get out as fast as you can because you're in a completely different mind frame, right? So at Safeway, standing outside, we had just gone in and bought a bunch of food for our next 150-mile lap through southern Colorado into northern New Mexico. And this woman walks up and she's like, "Hey, you guys must be riding the Tour Divide. I see your bikes with all your bags on them and stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, totally." She's like, "Well, I did that." And I'm looking at this woman and she didn't look particularly fit or like anything. So I judged the situation incorrectly. I was like, "Really? You rode Tour Divide?" Like, yeah. She's like, "I did like 8 years ago."
Mm,
Like, holy shit.
mm,
And so we end up having this incredible conversation. Her name's Janie Hayes, same
mm.
last name as me. She lives in Salida. And then, like, we had this amazing conversation, and it was cool because it was starting to, it was rekindling the memories for her, right? She's like, "Yeah, I wrote it in 2018." And she started just remembering the different sections and remembering her experience. And it was so cool to watch. And she just lit up and started glowing. Afterwards, we connected. She donated to Honnold Foundation. She sent me her blog. She wrote all these articles about it at the time. And it was just another like amazing humanity experience I had out there. So that was your question was takeaways for me. The humanity experience was
Mm.
one really big one that I didn't necessarily expect, but I definitely got. So great. There's amazing humans in this country. Um, yes. Uh, let's see. Number two. I could go on number one for a long time and tell stories, but that's you get the gist.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, it makes me happy, especially this sort of tweak of perception, because I think sometimes we might tie adventure with rugged individualism a little bit. And yet your stories are all about friendship, really, and kindness of strangers, as you said. And as you're probably aware, one of the things I really get a kick out of is watching people move through their lives and go through their shifts in life. And you and I have known each other for a while. When we were both teenagers coming of age, I know we both did semester courses with outdoor schools, and yours was the year after mine with a National Outdoor Leadership School, same school. We were both in the Rocky Mountain Range doing mountaineering, rock climbing, caving, winter, and desert. Total expedition basically for 90 days or so. And I looked at your astrology a little bit.
Please, please
And
tell.
2 days after 726, July 28th, our lunar nodes go into a whole new phase for about 18 months. And when you were just fresh off your semester, it was January, you had just turned 18 that summer. So you were off that course and you're probably about to go to college or maybe in your first semester
I, I took
already.
I took my spring semester off college in my freshman. No, no. I took my fall semester off to start my sophomore year of college at Knowles. That's
Cool.
right. That's right.
Cool. So you had 1 year of college under your belt. You did the semester, and then
Yep.
you probably went back to Fort Collins to go back to school that spring. Do you remember?
You did. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So, cycle wise, zooming out and looking at the patterns of your life with kind of overall patterns of life, because that's basically as above, so below, looking at the solar system and what happens on Earth. So, big weather and little weather is kind of how I think of it. And you're right now poised at that same point. And you've just done this big adventure, and this new cycle is actually happening for you. It's called a lunar node return, basically. So you're actually going to be exact with it in just a few months when the ascending node gets to 4 degrees of Aquarius, and the descending will be at 4 or 5 degrees of Leo. So you're literally at that same point that you were when you were 18 years and 6 months old. Same when you were about 37, and now you're in this new one. I won't tell the world your age right now, but
Well, I
you're
figured
now, you're literally at the third time this cycle has happened in your life. So I'm curious, the question's really simple. I just wanted to zoom out and point out that it's kind of a remarkable timing, basically, is the point of all that mumbo jumbo. So what's next? What's stirred inside you now to catapult you into the next? And answer, I don't know, is perfectly legit.
pause on what's next and go back to the previous question, which is what was the previous question?
The previous question was about take homes.
Take homes. Okay, so
Yeah.
I have other take homes that I need to hit. We'll go to-
You're like, let's screw what's next. Go back. Go ahead, go ahead.
Uh, so the first one, what I takeaways were humanity is good and amazing. The other, I have two others, and
Mm.
I'll hit those. Um, One, so number two under takeaways from the tour um, is the Western United States and essentially Western Canada are absolutely incredible. We already know this, but like maybe we take it for granted. I think we do take it for granted
Mm,
because most of the people who were racing, 270 people started in Banff and only about 100 finished, I think. But out of that 270, the large majority were either European, Australian, or New Zealanders.
mm,
And I don't know the exact numbers, but that was the general vibe out there. And so I was riding a lot with Europeans and New Zealanders. I ended up hooking up with a guy named Jerry Seeger, who was great, who kind of became my partner, who was a British guy, who is now a US citizen living in Seattle, but
mm,
had strong British roots and a great British accent and all the things. Um, the Europeans, and to maybe to my surprise, New Zealanders and Australians just couldn't comprehend the vastness of the Western US and Canada. Like you see it on a map, you hear about it, you read about it, but until you're there and you're 98, 96 miles down a dirt road in
mm,
Montana, you don't really know. And
mm,
then you know.
mm,
And you're really in it traveling on a bike, which is an amazing way to travel. And you're going 8 miles per hour. So you're going essentially very slowly through terrain. I mean, faster than you would hike, but like still reasonably slow. So you're seeing every tree and every little rock. And like you're watching these landscapes unfold in front of you. It's so like we are so lucky.
mm,
We are so lucky to live in this country. It is to the European mind or the Australian mind, they were just blown away by this space. They couldn't believe it. Like,
mm,
how can it be that you have this much open space out here? It's crazy. Like for that, like for the Europeans, they were almost like it should be illegal or something. Like they were just like, it's not fair. Like you've been to Europe, Mary. Like the mountains in Europe are very sophisticated and awesome. There's a hut every, you know, 10 kilometers where you can get a nice dinner and a coffee and a beer, right? It's like it's such a different vibe over there. It's not a wilderness vibe, it's a sophistication vibe, right? It's equally beautiful and amazing, but it's just different. But the Western US, like, wow, what a resource we have. Wide open, hundreds, thousands of square miles of woods and national forest and yeah, so that's another big takeaway. We are lucky, so lucky to live in a place that has that much open space. That was another big takeaway for me from just exploring it.
Mm.
Um, I have a third one, but I already forgot it. So what did I say? Humanity is great. Open. Oh, okay. I remember now. Um, the West and Canada are amazing in the open space and how lucky we are. And then I guess this is more of a personal takeaway. Number three, I guess it's we can do hard things.
Mm.
We can do hard things,
Mhm.
right? I sent these sort of teary uh I cried a lot on the trip. I'm not afraid to admit it. And I had a whole social media thing going behind this, so a lot of people saw it, which is great. Um, but I had some teary messages to my kids and my wife right at the end where I basically told them as such, like we you can do hard things. Like most people, when I was thinking about doing this and talking about and the lead up to it, thought I was completely nuts. And a lot of people, I wouldn't say they said I couldn't do it. It wasn't you can't do it, but it was like strong doubt and strong like, I don't know, man. That's really hard. Are you sure you're up for that? Like my mother-in-law was like, "Are you ever coming home?" Like my own mom was really freaked out. A lot of people, almost everyone, not everyone, but like 80% of the people leading up to it, I think had doubts in their mind about could I actually do
Mm.
it? I had doubts in my mind, could I actually do it? But I also had like a pretty strong sense of like, I feel good about it. My training was pretty good and you know, I mean, I mentally, I think I can do it, right? So, um, yeah, the takeaway for me is like, you can do hard things.
Mhm.
You really can. Like it when there's obstacles out there and everyone has them, like the way I approached the tour maybe is, I don't know if it's useful or not, but like hard things are hard things because you make them hard in your mind and
Mhm.
then you blow it up into this big thing and oh my God, I can't do it. It's too hard, like all the stuff, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, all right, I'm just gonna break this down. I'm just gonna chunk it out into little sections. And like the first few days, it took a bit to get into the right mindset for this.
Mhm.
It didn't happen immediately, but it finally did happen after maybe a week or whatever, 3, 4, 5 days, which was like, okay, I just need to think about what's right in front of me. I need to be in the moment. I need to be here now. And I need to think about like the next 2 hours and the next mountain pass and the next 20 miles.
Mhm.
And I need to stay there.
Mhm.
Because if I start thinking about tonight or tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon or next week or the next state or what's going to happen on July 8th, like,
Mhm.
no, 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 way too much and too much unknown and good to plan, but no, I need to stay in it right here, right now
Mhm.
and stay and control what I can control,
Yeah.
right? Which is my effort the next couple hours.
Yeah.
I was able to do that, and that really helped me. That really made it so I could do hard things.
mm.
like blowing it up into like the totality of like, oh my God, I need to ride my bike 2,000 miles through storms and heat and rain and peanut butter
Totally.
and all this stuff. Much, right? Too much mentally to handle it. So yeah, there's a guy named Dave Fleet who I watched a bunch of his YouTube videos. He did this ride last year. He's become a bit of a mentor for me, and helped me a bit. Canadian guy, lives in Toronto. He said that too. He's like, you can do hard things.
Mm,
And like, listen, in a normal world, you just don't go and ride 100 plus miles with 7 or 8,000 feet of climbing every day. And then when you're out there doing it, it just sort of becomes normal. Like
mhm.
from the outside looking in, that seems impossible.
Yeah.
But like when you're doing it, it is possible, which means you can do hard things.
Mhm.
And like the challenges that get thrown at you, I mean, you know, between the weather and the peanut butter mud and all the things that come at you, like Jerry said it well. He said he said it in this like classic British accent, like every, every day has unique and interesting challenges, don't you think, Carrie? Something like that. But you're right, like every day presented
Right.
a different challenge that
Mm,
you expect.
yeah.
In the rain, we're going to go through peanut butter mud. Okay. Or
Mm,
the wind's going to blow and we're not going to move very fast,
yeah.
which is a big thing there. Or you're going to run into a washboard road and the weather's perfect, but we can only go 6 miles an hour because you're just chattering along this horrible washboard road.
Mhm.
Right? Or you get lost, or like a number of any number of things can happen.
Yeah.
I think that's my so anyway, I'll summarize in my teary videos to my kids and my wife that I sent towards the finish line. I was like, listen, especially to my daughters, I was like, listen, if people tell you no, if things seem too hard, whatever, you can do hard things. You
Mhm.
absolutely can do
Yeah.
hard things. It's you just set your mind to it and do it. You can do it.
Mm,
So that
mm,
was another big takeaway for me.
yeah. Yeah, it's that slight shift of perception that sort of pulls you into that next place. Plus, all of that time having to be in present and alive in that moment, making choices where essentially you're in the void, so the void goes away. You have to be 100% focused and with a little bit of daydreaming time.
I interestingly did not listen to much music. I brought my phone and I had all this playlists and I thought I was going to listen to a lot of music and kind of tune out. I really didn't. I listened to like the Royal Oak, Michigan Goose show. That's my favorite show of all time. Like maybe 2 or 3 times during like the hardest moments where I just need to zone out.
Mhm,
But for the rest of the time, I didn't listen. I really didn't listen to music. I was really just in the moment,
mm,
watching, listening, thinking, whatever.
mm.
It's cool.
Was was that show in 2025?
2022.
Oh, 20. Okay. Sorry, you were about to say another thing.
I was gonna just transition to your final question was what's next? Um, what is next, Mary? That is the
I'll
question.
give you a little more setup there too, because I was thinking about this. So, when we would do Outward Bound expeditions, we would do this sort of talk with the students at the end because they've gone through this amazing thing. Kind of like, you go down Grand Canyon for 21 days with your best friends and you have post-traumatic stress.
I'm in it right now. I'm in it for
Yeah.
sure.
Like in stress world, from a psychological viewpoint, they call it prolonged activation, and the positive prolonged activation of having these episodic adventures in our life that are these amazing growth periods that then also kind of align with our human graph of when we're growing, every 18 and a half years or whatever it is. We were in this kind of state of the afterglow. I think when we talked on the phone, we were calling it the afterglow, this sort of liminal space of like, where am I? Who am I? And at Outward Bound, we used to say, this is the beginning of your course at the very end. We'd send them off that way. And even the Outward Bound is a phrase used by mariners for a ship being outward bound. And, they fly the flag that says the ship is gone and gone to sea. And I mean, I think right now you're sort of in the halcyon waters. Of the after time. So anyway, that's all to say you don't even have to have an answer, but I'll hear your answer.
Ah, it's
And I
well,
know the folks will want to hear it too.
very well said, Mary B. Very, very well said. I'm outward bound right now. I mean, it was a huge life experience. And I was like a couple times like towards the end, especially in New Mexico there, where it got really hard, like really hard at the end. I was like, I would find myself in my mind like playing through like how I'm going to describe this to people. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. It's the coolest thing I've ever done. It's the whatever. But then I was like, I don't know that words can really do that justice, right? It's just one of those things. I mean, from you have a big life experience in the Grand Canyon or on a big trip or in at a goose show or like whatever it is, and it can be hard to describe. And so I'm 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 back to that place. Kind of hard to describe what happened out there to me. I was really have so much gratitude to my wife Sarah and my family and the people closest to me who allowed me the time and space to go have a big life adventure like that. You just don't normally get that, right? So I have a ton of gratitude for that. Um, but yeah, what's next? I want more, more, more. I mean, when you get so heart opened like that and have such an amazing thing happen to you, you naturally, at least me, I want more. So what is next? I mean, someone asked me the other day, will you go back and do it again? And I know my partner, Jerry, who I rode with, is like, I'm never doing this again. There's no hard. It's too much. It's a bridge too far. So I think he's being honest when he says that. I don't think he will do it again. Um, I feel like there's in almost every world scenario I can imagine, I'm going to end up back there at some point. I don't know exactly when. Well, I think I would be remiss if I never went back. So I feel like I will do the Tour Divide again. So maybe that's what's next at some point. It's probably not next year. It's probably in the years ahead. So that's one. But it's also, of course, caused me to re-examine as I enter my third node, to re-examine my whole life, really, and start questioning the status quo and question the norms and my job and all the things. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good thing, right? It's
Yeah,
you really become alive again
yeah.
and wake up, right? And that causes introspection and causes a series of things in your brain to click in good ways
Yeah.
to think about what am I doing and what can I change or should I change to pick things up a bit, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm in that mode right now too, for sure.
I am inspired. We're similar age. I'm a little older than you. I've just gone through my lunar node return and have an activation towards my future. And maybe I will buy some land on the Tour Divide Trail, get a
Maybe
barn, paint a bike on it.
Trail angel, Mary. You would be the perfect trail angel.
Little Shangri-La.
On New Mexico, I'm telling you, it could be your thing.
Oh yeah, I'll do it in the Gila. I like that idea.
Cuba,
Altos Pinos
Mexico,
or Cuba.
amazing little spot for sure.
Carrie, I appreciate you so much. It's been amazing to follow your adventure. It's such the blessing of contemporary world having that ability. But then I really cherish this one-on-one time. And let's hope this gets out to more people so they can be inspired as well. It's
For having
wild. You have this blurred background, but this little kind of cosmic wink just happened to your bike wheel in the back just appeared.
saw that. I just saw that. That was so weird. There it is. See it?
Well,
Twice.
say this is a
Got it. Got it. Right there. That is so weird. That is a cosmic coincidence.
hashtag synchronicity.
Wow. Yeah. That's so cool.
Oh man. Well, let's keep this conversation going. And the world thanks you. We thank the Honnold Foundation as well for their good work. And don't go changing, man.
Love you, Mary. Nice chatting with you.
Love you too, brother. I'm gonna turn this recording off.